Hi, so guys, thank you so much for coming to our workshop. We are Aventus. We are an e-commerce customer service provider, and we are here to talk about the customer experience. So today we're gonna talk about how well you know your customers and some of the benefits of having a phone support channel for your customers. So next up, to introduce who's here on stage, you have myself. I'm Lacy Eyre, the Director of Client Success here at Aventus. A little bit about me is I was employee number 1 at Aventus. I actually have my 10-year anniversary coming up in about 2 weeks. So super excited to be here and talking about one of my passions, which is customer experience. I'm also a customer experience expert and a Game of Thrones fan. Who here watched House of Dragons on Sunday? Woo woo. Also up here on stage with me, I have CR. He is our Chief Revenue Officer. CR is a 5-time sales leader, as well as he is a brand owner and investor, and he should have been a cowboy.
I mean, I kind of am, but... Funny story, when I first got into e-com in January of 2004, yeah, that's like 20 years ago, I was working for an ag company, and we serviced farms that dealt with livestock, like shocker, right? Look at me. But throughout that experience, I learned a lot because we didn't have traditional e-com back then. Back then, it was like a catalog, a paper catalog that we mailed out to like 30, 40, 50,000 people, and they would mail in orders or call us up, and that was business. But I was like, okay, emails are a thing now, so why don't we, build a website? And the owners of the company were like, what's a website? I'm like, oh my gosh, guys. Okay, so what we did is we built the website to basically show the catalog of our offering. And people would email in their orders. We'd call them up and verify it and take their payment information over the phone. It was very primitive e-com back then. Fast forward 20 years, I've worked with countless brands, both as an advisor, as an investor, as a founder. And the one thing that stays true through all of it is the human touch point is the most important part of a sales funnel for your end consumers. It drives loyalty, engagement, and you can ask the hard questions because people can't just fast forward through an email survey, right? They have to answer. If you're like, what's your experience been like? Do you enjoy the products you have right now? Hey, I noticed that you have these products, but that also pairs really well with XYZ. So there's upsell and cross-sell element to that as well. Some of the brands that we work with right now, you see some familiar ones here, but on top of that, there's some great brands in this room right now that even after we're done here, this workshop is gonna be great. You guys are hopefully gonna learn a lot, but brands like Armra, Sandy Sloan right here, and then Live Bearded. Where's Jeremy? My dog back there, right? We've got some great brands that really do well with the customer experience. So after this is done, you pick their brains. It's gonna be very valuable for you regardless.
Yeah, another thing really important to Aventus as well is strategic partnerships, such as our partnership with Gorgias. So we are one of the certified services partners for Gorgias, and making these strategic partnerships also help promote that customer experience with our clients by being able to provide those insights and helping them to set up, optimize things like the AI agent in Gorgias.
That AI agent, by the way, I was asked this so many times yesterday and today, and sorry to cut that off, but I got to touch on this because, we're not worried about, losing business or anything. We think of it as a value add. The faster you can talk to a potential customer or even a buying customer, the better off you are. You've heard that phrase, speed to lead, right? But it's the same with every step of the funnel. The faster you can respond, the better quality you have, the better experience that customer is going to have.
Yep. So what I want to do is go into some of the benefits of having phone support as an e-commerce brand. I'd like to ask, though, how many of you currently have phone support turned on? Excellent, excellent. How many of you plan to turn phone support on in the future? Excellent. And who in here is like, we're never turning phones on? Anyone? Okay, perfect.
I like the honesty.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So some of the initial benefits of phone support, as you can see on the screens that we have here, is going to be like gathering that immediate customer feedback. And in some of those scenarios with those customers calling in, they're going to be more open to sharing some of the nuanced situations about their customer experience and their customer journey. We don't typically get emails or live chats from customers that are detailing how it was to navigate your website, or if they were looking to get an add-on or promotion and it wasn't working. They'll just turn and walk away. If they're able to have that phone conversation, you're going to get that immediate real-time feedback to be able to make those types of adjustments. So that's one of the big benefits that we see of having those phone support channels. And as we're moving into having the AI agents there, this is a big opportunity for our agents to be able to build relationships, build trust, and to be able to cross-sell and upsell these customers, because they get to build relationships and understand the why behind the customer purchase, what their ultimate goals are, and to be able to suggest relevant items that are going to help them on their journey. So that's really coming into like these personalized interactions, and it's what's really going to set brands apart from like companies like Amazon, right? Because you can't call Amazon, you can't give Amazon that feedback or have that impact as a customer with a brand. So some of the immediate things, and I'm going to pass it over to CR here on our first part, is becoming immediately reachable by your customers. One of the things that we immediately see with phone support is an increase in your customer satisfaction scores. When they're able to reach out to you through multiple channels and their preferred channel of interaction, we see that those scores immediately go up, and that goes hand in hand with the Net Promoter scores.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great point. Like the human touch is so vital in the sales process for your end consumers. It's so vital. And it's shown in these CSAT scores that are clearly higher with a human element than without.
Absolutely. Going back again to building those stronger relationships, we're seeing that you're going to have lower customer churn and higher brand loyalty. When customers are able to engage and give you your feedback, hear those suggestions, and form relationships, you're going to see that loyalty and that Net Promoter score go up.
Does anybody here, any of the brands here, I know Ron Avi does this. He gets great feedback from his customers, but does anybody else, have a human touch point in the feedback loop right now? Show of hands, anybody? Kayla, what's that like at Jackson?
Well, I would have to say, we respond to every single review, whether it's positive or negative. And I would say also, with our phone support team, usually, we try to ask one question every single conversation, whether it's a simple call or, maybe like an escalated call, just asking one thing, was there anything differently we could do? Is there something you're looking for with our brand? Or is there something you want us to, what would you want to talk about with us next time? So we try to insert those little touch points. But I think the biggest thing for us is we respond to every review because we think every review has value.
That's great. Yeah. You do that with actual humans responding. It's not just an AI thing.
It's part of our team.
See, that's so impactful because you can tell a difference, right? And Jackson does a great job at not just getting customers. They've got great marketing. Bear, the CMO there, is an amazing guy, amazing marketer. But what they're really good at is retention, keeping those customers involved, engaged, and buying again.
Absolutely. So some of the benefits of, again, gathering that immediate feedback is, looking at that product market fit and increasing your sales opportunities. So one of the things that we've seen and we've actually employed with some of our current clients is being able to do further touch points and reach outs to your customers post-purchase, right? So really engaging and understanding the customer and how you can expand your relationship with them in the process of gathering that feedback from them. I think next up, we're going to take a look at that customer journey and some of those touch points to take a look at where your customers prefer to interact with AI and where they prefer to interact with an actual human as well. So first up, we have some really impactful metrics here. So speaking to consumers, do they really want to talk to a chatbot? right? And I know a lot of people are on the fence about this one. So 53% of US consumers do not want to talk to a chatbot if it's a complex issue. So this doesn't include Wizmo or anything of that nature, but if they have a complex issue, as if like my package says it was delivered, but it's not here, they want to immediately go to a human, because a human can understand and empathize with what's occurred in their experience and offer them multiple solutions to fix it, right? So again, a whopping 53% of customers, if it's a complex issue, still want that personal touch. 46% prefer to speak to a real human, but they feel very comfortable knowing that the agent is using AI to improve the experience, right? To give them accurate information and good solutions. So the customers like the fact that AI is there even when they're interacting with a human.
Has anybody in here tracked that, like with metrics? So anybody said, okay, clearly these CSAT scores are higher with human interaction rather or opposed to without. Anybody do that right now? So that's really important, and I really implore each of you to start tracking those metrics so you can see not only the value that traditional human-to-human touch points provide, but also where you can get better, right? If you're not having great CSAT scores and the funnel is mostly digital, AI, well, there's an opportunity there to throw in a human touch point. So I implore you to start tracking that, especially as you're trying to balance the AI world with human touch points.
Absolutely. So next up, Aventus asks customers about their own customer journeys and about the difference between AI and human touch. So first up, when it comes to discovering your products, this is where consumers actually really like AI. They like AI to make those product suggestions. They also like it when AI is suggesting, okay, if you've put this product in your cart, other consumers also put this product in their cart, right? So they really like those suggestions that are coming from there. When it comes down to their consideration, so when they're looking at your customer reviews, saying, is this the right company to buy from? Here we see both sides. They like it when AI is able to give them product information, but they also like to be able to see real human reviews on your website. So it's going to be about 50-50 there, where they want some human touch, but they also like being able to have the AI there to give them those immediate answers. So next up in that customer journey is going to be their decision. So again, we see here that a lot of times the customers are going to, again, just want the AI on the website to guide them through that, purchase. On the other hand, some customers are going to want hand-holding, especially certain demographics of customers. They want that security when making that purchase to be able to ask the questions, even when it's in your FAQs. They want to hear it from a person, right? That hand-holding. So having both options there is going to ensure that you're able to address all your customers, right? And capture all those purchases.
Do you guys have an idea of your ICP? I mean, you should, but be honest. Like, does everybody understand who their ICP is? Okay, so when you look at that, you look at the generational differences. We were talking earlier about, the elder millennials. I'm an elder millennial, and I want my hand held. I want to talk to a human. But the younger millennials, they don't care. So trending previously, like, we went from, I want nothing but human interaction to, I don't want to deal with humans at all, email all day long. And now we're getting into a very unique phase in selling that includes both. It includes both. So that's pretty important to think about. And if you break that down psychologically, humans are innately drawn to balance. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm a Libra and it's part of my sign. But seriously, think about that. If you have too much, let's talk food. If you have too much cheese on your pizza, you're gonna crave something that's a little sweeter. So you get, a Coca-Cola that goes with that, right? You want balance in all aspects of your life. Humans innately are drawn to that. So it's important to think about that as we move into the new phase of purchasing and customer experience.
Absolutely. So that takes us next up to completing the actual purchase. And really leaning into what CR just said right there, you're going to see a large majority of your consumers that don't need any help completing their purchase. But again, some that are going to want that hand-holding. You still have a demographic that does not trust the internet and wants to call and place an order. How many people currently have to where a customer can place an order somewhere other than their website? Okay. Perfect. So when we're looking at having those options out there and being able to, place an order as a customer that seems comfortable to you, having those options available can really impact that loyalty and that customer security. And again, is giving that personal touch point when they know they have those options to call in, make that purchase in a way that they feel is secure. Even though all of us in this room can say probably the most secure way to place your purchase is going to be directly on our website. Regardless of that, they like to have that option available to them. And so you'd be able to capture all of the customers interested in your brand when you open up that channel of support. So next up is my favorite, which is post-purchase.
Obviously, that's mine too. Came from the post-purchase world. Sandy knows. That's how we met, by the way.
Absolutely. So post-purchase, you've got a lot that's going to be automated here, right? Your order confirmation emails, those are great. Tracking emails, all of that is amazing, right? We don't need humans to be sending those out, and customers appreciate those. But follow-up emails. So when a customer makes a post-purchase, one of the things we have, and I have one of my brands here, Conscious Keto. So one of the things that we've began doing on their brand is post-purchase outreach, right? That we've seen that the customer has received their product a couple of days ago. We're engaging with them about, have they received the product? Have you used the product? Do you have any questions about the product on your journey? And through this and through making those personalized conversations, we're able to upsell and cross-sell these customers and increase their lifetime values. And we're also seeing the continuity in these customers, right? So a lot of times we may receive our items and have questions. That call is really a wow moment, and it's an engaging moment with your customers. They're not expecting it, and it's one of those things that can really bring them back. And again, it's an opportunity for you to increase that revenue with them and have them be a loyal customer, right? And also be promoting you to all their friends and families as well.
So to that, I want to touch on something real quick. Aventus has been around for a decade, and we've really honed in on the recruiting process for these agents. By the way, one agent services one brand, not multiple brands. So we coach and train these agents on being on brand. We also have workforce management teams. That's all inclusive, right? Front to back. And we can empower these agents to not be reactive, but proactive. If you pair that with AI, that is a game changer. You get a proactive agent seeking out end consumers and providing an experience that nobody can touch. Your brand is going to just skyrocket because people are going to talk about that. Like, I see a lot of brands in here that have done that, right? That have been proactive with their outreach, their marketing, their retargeting campaigns. But throw AI in there and have these trained agents combined doing that. I mean, that's the sweet spot. That's what we call in the South cooking with hot sauce.
Absolutely. And then when we're coming into the loyalty and advocacy, also when we're looking at that post-purchase, another thing that we've employed with our client Conscious Keto is looking at customers that had a high lifetime value and were repeat customers and have gone dormant for the past 30, 60, 90 days, reaching out to them, engaging, seeing what's going on, and again, looking for that opportunity to either gather that product feedback of what made them not continue to purchase, and then taking opportunities to upsell, cross-sell, educate them on new products, new releases, promotions, and it's an opportunity to welcome them back to the Conscious Keto community. And we're seeing really great success in engaging the customers, as well as the customer sentiment here. I think it's a very much so, again, going back to that wow experience. And the customers feel that Conscious Keto isn't just, they're not just a number. It's something Conscious Keto cares about them and their health and wellness journey. So now, guys, we have a QR code where you can download our deck, and we would love to open the floor for additional conversations and any questions that you guys may have, any feedback. I know that we've had a lot of conversation regarding the AI, and I think really what we're looking at here is what CR said was balance, is opening up our agents to really be able to form relationships, meaningful relationships with our customers to help increase your return on investment out of your customer service channel. What Aventus is looking to do is turn these into revenue channels and freeing up all those WISMOs and everything from the agents, allow them not just to engage more with your customers, but to further their education. Some of what we've even seen is average handle times increasing. And I know a lot of times we look at that and we go, oh no. Right? It's taking even longer. But what's happening is that the agents are diving in. They're doing more investigations. We are seeing first contact resolutions increase. We are seeing customer satisfaction scores increase. So I'd love to hear from you guys if you have any questions. We'd love to answer those on how we are employing AI alongside with our agents to help make this revenue generating. Go ahead, Ron.
But I think one thing that's important is like our customers range anywhere between the ages of 35 to 55. And I think we were pretty against phone because it's like, why do we need to, this doesn't work. Why do we need to add an additional service when maybe it's really, everyone can just go route to email and stuff. But I think what we realized was when it comes to like accommodating, which is what we all need to do as a brand, phone is just another way to communicate with us. And when we saw how many people, what type of cohort is using phone, it was the people who were 45 to 55. Now, if we didn't have phone, would they not find their way to email? They probably will still, but think about that experience. Like they have to now do something that they don't want to do. So I think one piece that kind of helped us look into this.
Hold it up here.
Hold
it up top.
Okay. One thing that, that's helped, thanks. One thing that helped us was just like the price, the cost to test, first of all, phone is pretty cheap. And then you can really quickly see who's calling just based on your customer details. And then you can really quickly identify ROI. And then I think that's where we saw like, the people who were calling in, we were able to turn them into sale opportunities and even just calming them down from a ugly email that would probably proceed. So it really did help. So if you have an audience that ranges from millennial to boomer and onwards, I think it's one of those things where it's like, why not have it? So if you can't answer why not to have phone and you can't make like 3 or 4 reasons, then I think that's probably a good way to test, or at least how we looked into it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thanks so much, Ron.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you again, Ron. That's great. Yeah.
Hi. So you guys were talking about finding that sweet balance, right, of the AI and also the personal experience. I'm curious if you guys have run up against like severe negative sentiment yet for AI from the customers. I work one of our clients, their demographic is older. So we, even through our agents, they're like, I must be talking to a robot. You know, and they're immediately upset, and it's like, actually, you're not. Like, we're humans. And so we're a little hesitant to even use AI because there's already that built-in negative sentiment. So how do you find that sweet balance, and how do you, like, train your agents to respond appropriately when they're faced up against that challenge of someone not liking the AI?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great question. So one of the things why we wanted to take a deep look into the customer experience was, again, to identify where customers were okay with AI, or even at times don't necessarily realize that it is AI. We've definitely seen the same thing that you're talking about, where it is our live agents engaging in email, and we get, you know, the customer coming back saying, hey, this must be AI. And the way that we teach our agents to address that is just to reach back out with an even more human touch point, right? And if our agent or if our client has phone support on, that may be a customer that we give a call and we say, hey, we're really sorry about that interaction. We wanted to reach out to you personally to discuss, you know, I was the agent that was emailing you X, Y, and Z. So I think that we do see a lot of that, where there is a specific demographic of customers that is totally against AI, but ultimately when you take a look at the numbers, they still want an instant response to where's my package, right? And they are still going to be okay with the AI providing that information, but it's when they have a complex issue. So what we look at more is saying, how do we prevent a customer who is having a complex issue from hitting like a Wizmo, right? And being able to be directed directly to the agents. And I think that in the setup of Gorgias and all the options and the features, it makes it really easy to handle those, quick Wizmo questions. But again, when a customer needs that human touch, when they have that complex issue, that they're not going through all that friction of the AI to directly meet. And I think that's another reason why phone support is very important. Because that phone support, they know that's not an AI. They hear the human, they're able to ask questions, get real answers. And again, I think even customers seeing that available on your website. One of the projects that we're currently working on now is the difference of having that number published and available to customers on your website and how that affects your overall revenue. Because what we're seeing is that customers will decide whether or not they're going to make a purchase on your customer service, how easily accessible it is, and can they make an instant phone call, right? Can they hit you on live chat? How quick is the response time? We see that customers, pre-purchase are testing the live chats for response times to see that if they have an issue, how quickly are you going to be there to resolve it? And so it's really coming into play, again, on customers making those purchases and the brands that they're choosing.
I would, excuse me. I would also point to like a high value customer and say, is there a way that we can segment them out automatically so that AI is not answering? Is that going to be a good tool and maybe your toolbox that, we make sure that we're not letting that relationship with the brand fade away because we're letting AI take that touch point, and then over time they start to feel disconnected with the brand itself because it's not human or something like that is like fading. I feel like this is sort of like maybe not a question.
No, it's actually a great question. And it's actually one of the things that Aventus, we cover during our onboarding, because your high lifetime value customers, we look at those as VIPs. And so one of the things that we are typically suggesting to brands is to create a flow inside of Gorgias that identifies these high lifetime value customers and puts them in their own bucket and makes them VIPs whether they know it or not, right? So they don't have to be part of a VIP program, but we'll create tiers of these. And so the agents know when an email comes into this inbox that it's getting that first priority, right? And that they know by just seeing it in that inbox or in that channel that this customer is a high lifetime value customer. They want to immediately service them and they want to give them a wow experience to go above and beyond to solve whatever that customer's issue is. And again, by putting them in that queue, it's going to ensure that they have a very quick turnaround time and a lot of notice from the agent and team. So I do think that that's important as well. And it's one of the things that we really suggest because it's going to keep that loyalty of your high lifetime value customers.
Coming to you. Who was it? Sandy?
Curious. For us, we tend to get a lot of customers that have like medical concerns. And so part of the reason why we're so hesitant to move into the phone space is regulatory concerns, HIPAA, privacy concerns. How do you guys address that with other brands that also deal heavily in the health and wellness space?
Yeah, absolutely. So that comes through education and training with the agents. And so we have modules in our learning management system that goes over kind of those regulations. And so the agents understand where they can provide guidance and where they can't. And where they say, hey, I really appreciate you sharing that with me. But in order to ensure that this product is the right fit, I do need you to consult, with your doctor or your physician, things like that, so that they don't outstep and give, oh yeah, you can take that, it doesn't matter if you're, we don't ever want them to say those things. One of the things that we will train them to do though is suggest to the customer to go ahead and purchase the product. We'll talk about the warranty, the return policy, the satisfaction policy, and encourage them to take the product with them to their doctor or physician. Because if you don't have it in hand and you're like, hey doc, can I take this? The doctor has no idea what's inside of it. Most likely he's gonna say no, and you're losing a customer, right? And so we educate the customer on that, but again, let them know that their doctor or physician is gonna be the only person that can really make those recommendations. And so it's just through that continued education and auditing as well through our quality assurance department.
Are any of your agents HIPAA compliant certified?
No, at this time, I don't have the HIPAA compliant certification, but if we ever had a client that we came on, we would definitely go ahead and tackle that for them.
Amazing, thank you.
Okay, I'll try to not hog this too much. A second thought for the AI not being for like VIP customers, the Gorgias in me is gonna add like a little filter. You can actually, you can define like a VIP, so totally like for your views either way, number of orders or lifetime order spend. You can absolutely turn off AI for those by default. So if you wanted them to like not only get funneled priority, that's like number one, but also like have them never see it, doable. So that is possible. I like that a lot. Also just a good touch to like the hybrid. My mom is that person. My mom is like, I just want to call. I know it well. We fight often. But like she'll do the like, where's my order? And like she immediately gets mad, but then like a number will pop up for like this shoe company she likes and she immediately settles. She's like, oh, I can call? Okay. So it's like, you need both. Like just the options are like kind of the sweet spot. So hard agree. My actual question, because I had one, I was really interested in, I think like the Avi perspective with like demographics. I won't pick up an unknown number. And I guess I'm an older millennial. I haven't made peace with that, but I won't pick up like an unknown number. But I love the idea of like a post-call interaction. And I've definitely returned things that I'm pretty sure if somebody would have talked to me, I maybe would have kept them. So like, are you guys playing around with like a text post interaction? Are you like playing around with like, if I tell you my customer demographic is 18 to 30, maybe we text them with the same kind of intention? Because I feel like I would really like that. Maybe it's like a cool sweet spot if you're noticing a difference.
Absolutely in our roadmap. So these are all things that we've also discussed and touched. And to go to kind of what you were sharing, Natalie, is exactly what I was saying earlier. That phone number being on your website tells the customers that they have access to help. And just to be honest, as we all know, a lot of the Wismo questions come back to a shipping issue. I don't know how many other brands in here have experience, but I know a lot of the brands that we work with experience where the shipping companies are marking packages as delivered a day or two before they're actually delivered to the customer. And then we have this super awkward situation where we have to explain that, yes, it says it's delivered. We're really sorry that they marked it that way, but we expect you to get it in 24 to 48 hours, and then ask the customer to circle back again, right? In an email, we see that it doesn't always get the greatest customer satisfaction reviews. But when that phone conversation is open and we tell the customers this, they'll go, yeah, I've seen it too, this and that. And it's more understanding. And I think the other thing is your customers will empathize with your agents the same way that your agents empathize with your customers, right? Because again, we're all human here. And when they're calling in and the agent's like, man, I'm so sorry that this has happened, your customer feels the empathy there as well, right? And they know that if for any reason that package does not arrive, that agent is still going to be there to make things right? You just give me a call back and I'll make sure everything is taken care of. If you don't get it, you let me know. So again, we're seeing more and more where it is a deciding factor. If you're looking at, two brands that are both offering similar products, that consumers are wanting to go with the brand that they have the options on how to reach out. They're looking more at those contact pages. Is it just an email? Is it just a contact form? Is there a live chat widget down here at the bottom? Is there a phone number? How many different ways can I reach out? How convenient is it? I think the other thing about phone support is when customers are experiencing a complex issue, it's an emotional moment for them, right? And they need someone that can empathize with them. And so when they sit down and they send off that email, and we're looking at, 6-hour, 12-hour, 24-hour response times, right? They're still not having a good experience that entire time while they're waiting on a reply. When they're able to pick up the phone and call, they can hear the empathy in the agent's voice, the reassurance that the brand cares and is going to make it right. And that's really what's making that difference and that impact on that customer experience. It's building that brand loyalty and then training your agents and your team members to have those natural conversations. You know, we're auditing calls and we're seeing where customers can call in with an issue. They're not happy about something. But since the agent's able to empathize with them, understand their need for the product, their need for the purchase, what went wrong, one, they can wow them with coupon codes. We're sending out personalized coupon codes that have the customer's names in them so that they know that it's coming directly from the agent and this is something special that the agent did just for them for this single scenario, right? One-time use coupon code. And then again, the agent can make these upsell and cross-sell options for them, or even suggestions, right? And you can go back and look and say, hey, you know, if we gave them a coupon code and we made some suggestions that they go make these purchases off the website. And so I think that having the AI in the right places opens up your agents to, again, make those connections and build that security and trust with your customers that you're going to be there when they have those complex issues and they need someone to make it right.
Any more questions, comments, concerns, negative remarks? Emotional outbursts. Well, it was such a pleasure spending this time with you guys. We're going to give you a little time back in your day. You can stay in here. It's the coolest room.
And not just because we're in here.
Mingle, have a good time. We'll see you at happy hour. And if you have any questions, we'll be here hanging out for a couple minutes. So come up and say hello.
Yeah, don't forget to scan. We put our QR code back up.
Oh, right,
yeah.
right.
Yep. So don't forget to scan the QR code. You'll also get our contact information as well. Feel free to approach myself, CR. We also have Emmy here from Aventus with us. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions, talk one-on-one, and really appreciate you guys coming in and sitting with us.
Have a good evening, guys.
Thank you.